In March 2020, Arsenal announced that Jaeson Rosenfeld was leaving the club. Rosenfeld is credited with having revolutionised the club's use of data and analytics and departed to take up a new position at FIFA under the club's former head coach Arsene Wenger, who is now the governing body's head of global football development. Rosenfeld was the founder of an organisation called StatDNA, whose history with Arsenal dates all the way back to 2011 and was necessitated in part by a record for poor transfer dealings. The partnership originally began on a consultancy basis, with Arsenal paying a fee of $250,000 for exclusive use of StatDNA's services, which included talent identification and the gaining of tactical insight. In 2012, however, that relationship changed. At the behest of Ivan Gazidis, then chief executive, and Endrik Almstadt, the former head of business development, Rosenfeld and his team led a presentation to Wenger which culminated in Arsenal purchasing StatDNA for £2 million and integrating the company into their footballing structure. Over that time, and with the organisation in-house, Rosenfeld would become one of Wenger's most trusted advisors. Rather than simply being a tool with which to guide transfer activity, the department, ultimately rebranded as Arsenal Data Analytics, would become fundamental to many of the club's technical processes. According to reporting by The Athletic's David Ornstein and James McNicholas, this extended to aiding opposition analysis, with Rosenfeld providing a 20-page dossier prior to each game. While away from match preparation, his data evaluation was also used as part of performance monitoring and injury prevention. Of course, other clubs have also leaned heavily on data analysis. Damien Comolli stressed the importance of analytics during his time at Tottenham and then later at Liverpool, and one of his mentees, Michael Edwards, has achieved great success as the club's current sporting director. As of April 2020, Manchester United are also in the process of building their own data analysis team and continue to advertise for the various positions ahead of a presumed summer start date. So Arsenal can no longer be described as holding a technical advantage in this area, and on the basis of relatively inefficient transfer deals towards the end of Wenger's tenure, that seems to have been the case for some time. Now, in a 2017 article by Rory Smith of the New York Times, it was revealed that StatDNA's work had raised concerns over the potential signing of Antoine Griezmann, then a winger at Real Sociedad, and also the physical durability of Kevin De Bruyne prior to his move to Manchester City from Wolfsburg. Neither verdict has aged particularly well, nor has the decision in 2018 to appoint Unai Emery as Arsene Wenger's successor, which Rosenfeld and his team were part of but not ultimately responsible for. So to this day, supporters remain sceptical. The original acquisition of the company occurred in almost absolute secrecy, and when it was revealed by Gazidis 2 years later at a 2014 AGM, it was to a mixed reception. The club's general performance in the years since has done little to quell those doubts. In mitigation, however, StatDNA's work was also partly behind the decision not to extend Emery's contract in 2019, and as a further asterisk, it was revealed by The Athletic that their agency appears to have diminished since Wenger's departure, and that certain decisions were taken which were not led by their research. In fact, in a July 2019 interview with German magazine El Freunde, former technical director Sven Mislintat revealed this to be one of the reasons behind his departure. Previously, we had a strong systematic approach to transfers, a mixture of watching things live as well as quality data and video analysis, he said. However, the new leadership work more strongly with what they are offered from clubs or agents through their own networks. A good example of that previous research would be the signing of Lucas Torreira in the summer of 2018. According to reporting by Adam Crafton, Torreira's desirability was informed by data, which, through models employed by the club, revealed similarities with Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante. But Mislintat's 2019 remarks speak to the wide-scale restructuring that has occurred in the past few years and the lack of clarity that has been its result. Mikel Arteta is now the head coach, and he of course arrived from Manchester City, another club with a strong analytics culture. Around him, though, the landscape has changed dramatically since 2011. Ivan Gazidis left in December 2018 to become the chief executive at AC Milan. Following his departure, Raul Sanllehi, who had been promoted to head of football relations in February 2018, was promoted to head of football. As suggested by Mislintat, it's also believed that Sanllehi prefers a more traditional approach to transfer dealing, and that, at the point of Rosenfeld's departure for his new role, his influence had waned. The department will still need a leader, though, and Arsenal must move quickly and effectively to replace Rosenfeld. The club remain at a significant financial disadvantage to clubs like Manchester City, United, Chelsea and Liverpool, and without regular Champions League football since 2016, their income has remained worryingly stagnant. With the club also struggling under the weight of a vast wage bill, the premium on transfer market efficiency has arguably never been greater, and the outbreak of COVID-19 and the expected effects of the pandemic on football club finances are only expected to exaggerate that dependency. The task for Rosenfeld's successor is not only to excel within the specific job specifications, but also to fight for the department's voice and relevance, and to ultimately reclaim an advantage which hasn't quite been surrendered, but certainly isn't being maximised.